Welcome to Cultural Lens, the podcast where we break down cultural misconceptions and explore the realities of different societies. I'm Sophia, and today we're diving into Taiwan, a place often misunderstood by outsiders. Through this discussion, we aim to provide accurate insights into Taiwan's culture, traditions, and realities. Let's begin. Patrick, thank you for joining us today. Let's start with a big one. Many people assume Taiwan is just a part of China. What's the reality?
Thanks for having me, Sophia. This is a widespread misconception. While Taiwan shares some historical and cultural ties with China, it has developed its own political system, economy, and identity over the past several decades. Taiwan operates as a democracy with its own government, legal system, and military. In fact, Taiwan ranks highly on global democracy indexes, whereas China follows a different political model.
That's interesting. Another thing I've heard is that Taiwan is just a high-tech hub with little traditional culture. Would you say that's true?
Not at all. Taiwan is known for its technology industry. Companies like TSMC lead in semiconductor manufacturing, but that doesn't overshadow its rich cultural heritage. Traditional Taiwanese opera, indigenous tribal traditions, and tea culture are deeply rooted in society. Temples, like the Langshan Temple in Taipei, remain central to daily life, and festivals such as the Lantern Festival and Ghost Festival reflect Taiwan's vibrant traditions.
That's great to hear. Now, let's take some questions from our listeners. One listener asks, I've heard people in Taiwan mostly speak Mandarin. Is there another dominant language?
Good question. While Mandarin is the official language, many Taiwanese people also speak Taiwanese Hokkien, Hakka, and indigenous languages. In fact, the government has been actively promoting indigenous language preservation. You'll often hear different dialects depending on the region, and older generations especially continue to use Taiwanese Hokkien in daily conversations.
That's fascinating. Another listener asked whether Taiwan's food is just a variation of Chinese cuisine. What's your take on that?
While Taiwanese cuisine has influences from various Chinese regions, it has evolved into something distinct. Night markets showcase uniquely Taiwanese flavors. Dishes like beef noodle soup, bubble tea, and oyster omelets are staples. There's also a strong Japanese influence due to Taiwan's colonial past, seen in dishes like bento boxes and shaved ice desserts.
I had no idea about the Japanese influence. Now, before we wrap up, how can people avoid spreading these misconceptions about Taiwan?
First, always check your sources. Read from credible platforms like The Diplomat or Taiwan Insight instead of relying on outdated textbooks or general assumptions. Second, engage with Taiwanese media, watch local films, listen to Taiwanese music, or even follow Taiwanese influencers to get authentic perspectives. Lastly, visit if you can. Experiencing Taiwan firsthand is the best way to understand its diversity and cultural depth.
Those are fantastic suggestions. It's important to seek out accurate information and engage with cultures directly. Today, we discussed how misconceptions about Taiwan arise and explored ways to approach cultural understanding with greater accuracy and respect. We invite you to reflect on your own perceptions of Taiwan and share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. In our next episode, we'll examine the cultural nuances of Korea. Join us then.